Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Ariba Khan. I am from the discipline of biotechnology. Today I am here to present the topic which is instrumentation and working of NMR spectroscopy. First of all, I will give you a brief intro about NMR spectroscopy. That what is a NMR spectroscopy? The word NMR stands for nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. It is basically a technique that can be used to determine the local magnetic field that can be present around atomic nuclei. It explains the physical and chemical properties or features of an atom or molecule that may be present in NMR. There are generally two types of NMR spectroscopy. First one is proton NMR. Proton NMR basically deals with the structure of hydrogen atom, while carbon and the second one is carbon 13 NMR. It can deal with the organic structure of carbon atoms. Both work on the same principle and working of NMR, but the difference is that proton NMR deals with the structure of hydrogen atoms, while carbon 13 NMR deals with the structures of carbon atoms. The next one is the solvent that we use in NMR spectroscopy. Generally, we use deuterium chloroform as a solvent in NMR spectroscopy, but if the sample is soluble in polar solvent, then we can also able to use deuterium oxide, tetrachloride, carbon disulfide, trifluoromethanoid and carboxylic acid as a solvent. I am also telling you about the properties of solvent. Solvent should contain protons. Solvent should inexpensive mean solvent should be easily available. Solvent should have low boiling point and non-polar in nature. After that, I am telling you about the instrumentation of NMR spectroscopy in detail. An NMR spectroscopy consists of following parts. First one part is sample holder. It is basically a glass tube which is about 8.5 centimeter long and 0.3 centimeter in diameter. It should be chemically inert, durable and transparent to NMR radiation. About 0.4 ml of liquid sample can be kept in this sample holder. The next one part is sample probe. It is basically a device that can hold sample tube in position and is provided with an air drive for rotating the sample tube almost 100 revolutions per minute. The next one part is magnets. The accuracy and quality of an instrument can be completely dependent on the strength of the magnet. The resolution of NMR peak increases with the increase in the strength of magnets. It should give homogeneous magnetic field. The strength of magnetic field should not change from point to point. The magnet must be capable of producing a very strong magnetic field with strong at least 10,000 Gauss. There are basically three types of magnets that can be used in NMR spectroscopy. The first one is permanent magnet. It can provide homogeneous magnetic field at 60 to 100 megahertz frequency. It is basically inexpensive and simple to operate, but it requires extensive shielding and must be thermostated. Disadvantage of permanent magnet. In case of permanent magnet, field variation is not possible as required because different nuclei resonate at different magnetic field, but permanent magnet can provide only homogeneous magnetic field. It does not provide heterogeneous magnetic field. The next one magnet is conventional magnet. It can be used to generate magnetic field at 30 to 60 megahertz frequency. And the last one magnet is superconducting solenoid. It can generate magnetic field at higher frequency such as 470 megahertz. It provides a superconducting magnet has an electromagnet made up of superconducting wire. The next one part is field lock. In order to produce a high resolution NMR spectrum of a sample, there is need of homogeneous magnetic field. So we use field lock for this purpose. The other part is magnetic coils. Magnetic coils can be used to generate magnetic field wherever current flow through it. The next one part is sweep generator. Sweep generator is basically a set of Helmholtz coil that may located parallel to the magnet, which can alter or change the magnetic field. It can also modify the strength of the magnetic field. Means it has the capability to increase or decrease the magnetic field. The next one part is RF transmitter, which is also known as radio frequency transmitter. It is basically a pair of coils mounted perpendicular to the path of field and receiver coil. It can produce a powerful but short pulse of radio waves. The next one part is receiver coil. A receiver coil can be used to detect the radio frequencies that may be produced by RF transmitter that can emitted as nuclei relax to a lower energy level. The other part is amplifier. The receive signal or radio frequencies that can be emitted by a nuclei is amplified by the help of amplifier. The other part is RF detector. RF detector can be used to detect the signals that produced by resonating nuclei. The other one is recorder. It records the NMR signals or radio frequencies which are received by the RF detector. The radio frequencies can be produced by RF transmitter. The recorder gives a NMR spectrum and the strength of resonance signal is directly proportional to the number of nuclei resonance at that particular field strength. The last one part is readout system. The readout system is basically a computer that can analyze and represent the data. Now I am telling you about the working of NMR spectroscopy in detail. Firstly, we will place the sample, which may be resonating nuclei or atomic nuclei, in sample holder. Here you can see the sample holder which can hold the sample. It has the capacity to kept about 0.4 ml of liquid sample in it. Magnetic field can be generated by permanent magnet. Here you can also see the poles of magnet that may develop. The first one is south pole and the second one is north pole. It is basically a permanent magnet. The NMR signals may be produced due to resonance of atomic nuclei with radio waves. The radio waves can be produced by radio frequency transmitter. You can also see radio frequency transmitter in a schematic diagram of NMR spectroscopy, which is also known as RF transmitter. It is used to produce a radio wave signals or pulse of radio waves. After that, the signals can be detected by RF detector, and NMR signals can be amplified by with the help of amplifier. You can also see the amplifier in the diagram. After that, readout system can be used. Readout system is here you can also see the recorder. After using readout system, we firstly use recorder to record the NMR signals, and then we use readout system that is basically a computer that can analyze the data and represent it, and that data give information about the organic structure of that specific sample that may present in sample holder. We can also use sample probe to fix the sample in sample holder. The resonance frequency of an atom or a molecule is changed by the intermolecular magnetic field surrounding it. Means that if we change the magnetic field, means if we change the homogeneous magnetic field into heterogeneous magnetic field, then the resonance frequency of an atom or a molecule will also be changed. So the resonance frequency gives detail of a molecule, individual function group and its electronic structure. Nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is a conclusive method of identifying monomolecular organic compounds. This method provides detailed information about the structure, dynamics, reaction state, and chemical environment of molecules. The most common type of NMR are proton and carbon 13 NMR spectroscopy, but it is applicable to any kind of sample that contains nuclei possessing spin, means that contain resonating nuclei which produce a resonance. That's all from my side. Thank you for hearing me.